Society, and for the last 4 years he's been working at the Dutch Ministry of the Interior. His role there has been coordinating activities of Web 2.0 in relation to democratic processes and service delivery by the government. He will be talking about what the ministry does to promote e-participation and what the problems are of mistrust between government and citizens in their activities. How can they work together better? Do governments and citizens participate in each other's activities, or do they work like in different silos? And if so, why, and what can be done about it? We have some technical glitches occurring up here, but I'm hoping that Arnout will be able to wing it until his slides are functional. Can everyone please give a warm welcome to Arnout?
Okay, thank you, the organization. Thank you for offering me some time to talk a little bit about what our Ministry of the Interior does in the field of e-participation and Web 2.0. I'm waiting for the technical assistance from our PowerPoint presentation, but in the meanwhile I will just start. Maybe there is someone with a laptop who is able to present a PowerPoint presentation that I could use, but I think I will just continue and you will continue as well. Okay, I'm Arnout Ponsioen. I'm working from the Ministry of the Interior in the Netherlands, and I'm working specifically in the field of e-participation. Our directorate is focusing on building the electronic government, and e-participation is just one small part of that issue. I want to give a presentation in the first part just to show some activities that we do as the ministry, and continue a little bit of my observations in this field and what the problems are and the next challenges are for the next few years. I think if you focus on e-participation, then you're talking quite a bit about citizen participation in relation to the power of ICTs in that field. In the Netherlands, about in the 1970s, a lot of energy was focusing on consultations. That means consultations afterwards. Government defined a kind of policy program and asked citizens what they think of it and have their say. In the 1980s, that was succeeded by interactive policy making, and that was quite a new phase because much more earlier in the process and much more parties were involved in defining the policy plans and policy programs, not only afterwards but also in between and in a very early phase. In the early years of 2000, that a third phase started, which was much more focusing on citizens' initiatives and how governments are able to participate in initiatives of citizens. So a kind of reverse participation in which the lead is being laid by citizens instead of the government. Also, what happened in those years was a very big shift of electronic participation initiatives by citizens and also by government. So the virtualization of citizen participation was taking place in that phase. At our ministry, we started early 2000s with a lot of different ministers. The first one was our Minister van Bokstel, who was focusing very much on promoting e-skills. E-skills needed for people to participate in society. He was succeeded by another minister, Minister Pechtold. He was much more focusing on the democratic perspective in this field of electronic developments. So he was focusing on electronic referenda, on people voting. Thank you. So we have only half of it, can you a little bit broaden it? Oh. He was much more focusing on the democratic perspective in the field of e-participation. From the last years, Our new Minister Bijleveld, State Secretary actually, she was much more focusing on promoting citizen participation in making government services better, and also finding solutions for social issues. So you have three different perspectives on internet developments within our ministry. What we did with the State Secretary Bijleveld was in the field of e-participation to start with networking with all people active in that field, a kind of bottom-up approach, not defining great plans or schemes for other local governments how to do e-participation, but just attract a lot of energy and thinking power pre-existing in society. Thank you very much. These are the sheets I already did. The mid-2000s, finding solutions. Yeah, what we did was building networks of people, of organizations already active in this field of e-participation, just to get input for our ministry for things that we should do, to get a kind of plan of e-participation. We organized a great e-participation summit in 2007. We developed an e-participation interactive platform for organizations to present their initiatives, but also to have critical feedback on their initiatives. And we started some experiments. I want to show you some experiments that we did. Watstemtmijnraad.nl, that's the site, is a kind of Dutch version of They Work For You that you have in the UK. On this site you can search for voting behavior of local representatives. We started with 4 local governments, and the plan is now this year for about 25 and next year about 100 local governments to present their voting behavior in this way. We also promoted petitions site, already pre-existing as a private initiative. We helped them build the next version of it, and we also, what we did is, in this version, local governments can have an e-petition counter in which they can accept petitions that come especially for their local area, and do the whole process very transparent. So give feedback on what they do with the petition and when and who. A third one is a digital community policeman application. We work together with buurtlink.nl on the left top side. In this site, a local policeman can present himself online and ask people to help them to come up with issues that are to be taken up in the neighborhood. But also he can invite people to find, for example, a burglary for who has seen anything, etc. So he's presenting himself online. The fourth one is a kind of consultation, but then presented on a Google map. That was for the organization who was organizing it, something that they didn't think of at all. So they were very used to organize physical meetings, and now they decided